Hey there, Heather Ho, there's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Stone Cold Hockey video. We're doing the 83-84 season as the Edmonton Oilers because we want to see how high and mighty they are and to crash the party of the Oilers drive for five. Right now, it looks like the Oilers are on a bit of a streak. They were sucking the first few games in the first video, but the second video they've been producing, so they're 9-4. Everyone's producing in the division. Washington and Rangers and Philly as well. Pittsburgh and New Jersey are basically chasing other things. The Adams, Boston, Buffalo, Quebec, Montreal have double-digit points. Hartford has double digits. Double-digit losses. Oh, and the Smythe, Calgary, Vancouver, Edmonton, Winnipeg we're 6-5-1. We had a rough stretch. Winnipeg with double-digit points. The Kings, just like the Whalers, have double-digit losses. Well, Pittsburgh, I can't say that about them. In the North Division, St. Louis, Chicago, and Toronto all have double-digit. Blah, 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 blah. Minnesota and Detroit have the same amount of points. Goal scoring, Gretzky's tied for fourth with Steve Larmer behind five. Sutter and Pierre LaRouche, who's coming out of fucking nowhere. Points wise, Gretzky leads with Rick 5 at 25 points. Mike Bossy, Brian Trottier, two guys from my previous playbook as the Islanders 82, doing too well too. Paul Coffey's fifth. Yay. Goaltending, Moak's fifth and goals against behind only Brasso, Regan, Peters, and Everts. So they know all that. Standings wise, you see all the stats. We have 12. We've played 12 games. Well, yeah, we've only played 12. Detroit's only played 10, and Boston's only played 11. Our points percentage is 542 ahead of Vancouver by an inch, so we would be second technically. Detroit has a better points percentage than Minnesota in the North. Montreal would be second in the odds behind Buffalo in real life on points percentage and nothing else. We're 4-1 at home, but on the road we're nasty, 2-4-1. Well, a lot of teams do badly at home. We'll do on the road. Well, not really Calgary or Boston or Washington. Highlights wise, everyone's won a game. Everyone has a bad defeat, 10 hat tricks and all that. We've not had a hat trick. John Anderson hat tricked at us in a 7-6 win for the Leafs. Toronto, New Jersey, 5 games in the 30s. Toronto, New Jersey, 13 goals October 16th when the Leafs were up 6-3 and it looked good, but Broden, Brunwell, and Verbeek scored, and then in overtime, Don Fat Lever. Toronto's win over LA on October 8th, 7-6. It was a dogfight between Toronto, Philly, Quebec from October 25th when Quebec was up 4-1 and choked it to the Flyers. Other 30-point games, Hartford and Los Angeles. When it was a dogfight before Hartford won in overtime on a Blaine Stoughton goal. And then Rangers Blues, October 15th, when the Blues scored 9 goals. They were down 3-0 to the Rangers, scored 9 straight. I'm surprised that if when we played Toronto, that 13-goal game, well, yeah, no, there were no comebacks. It's probably because of the comeback. Yeah, whatever. Our highest scoring game is that loss to Montreal for 23. All right, so we host Washington, who is on a fire, 9-2-1. We have Andy Moog, the fifth best goals against in the NHL, starting for us. Grant Fuhr's the backup against Bob Mason, who's the number 3 guy technically, with Al Jansen and Pat Regan getting the Washington guys going. Dave Parle falling flat too, but yeah, Bob Mason coming out of nowhere. He'll start tonight's game. Washington 148 games in real life. Okay, that's okay. All right, so our main guys are Gratz, the great one, Glenn Anderson, Yuri Curry from Finland, Paul Coffey, Kitchener, Moose Messier, Pat Hughes, Dave Hunter, Willie Lindstrom, Ken the Rat Linsman, Dr. Randy Gregg, Yaroslav Ozar, Charlie Hoodie, Don Jackson, Dave Lumley, Dave Semenko, the Protector, Lee Vogelin Jr., Tom Rolston, Kevin Lowe, Pat Conacher, Rick Chartra, Kitchener, Ken Berry, Remo Simlin, and Jim Playfair, who was on YouTube too many times for his AHL blunder, being a coach and having a tantrum and throwing his shirt off. Washington with Mike Gardner, the future 700 goal scorer for Washington, Minnesota, New York, Toronto, and Phoenix. Gustafson, Dave Christian, part of the American Ice, Bobby Carpenter, who was such in high demand. The Rangers traded for him, and he was shit afterwards. Alan Haworth, Agoon, I think, Bobby Gould, Greg Laughlin, Gaetan Duchesne, future North Star, Larry Murphy, decent defenseman. Don't tell that to Toronto because they'll boo the shit out of him. Scott Stevens, Kitchener. That's right. Scott Stevens was a Kitchener Ranger and he did play for Washington first. Doug Jarvis, the original Ironman, if you will. Glenn Curry, Bugsy Erickson, Rod Langway, who got traded from Montreal to Washington, and then Langway basically stuck it in Montreal's face, winning back-to-back Norris trophies for Defenseman of the Year. Derek Futek, Chris Valentine, Dave Shan, Peter Anderson, Greg Adams, before he was a Canuck killer, Timo Bloomquist, Gary McAdam, Greg Faberge, Gary Sampson, and Paul McKinnon. Here we go. 2 minutes into the game. Washington a chance? No. Blue die for the road. Red for home. 5 minutes later. Oh, we got Messier is out for 5 minutes. Damn it. Washington scores as many goals as they want. No. Yes, Dave Christian. Sister Christian from Duchesne and Stevens, 1-0. And then Mike Gardner, his knife from Peter Anderson and Bob Carpenter, 2-0. Well, they scored twice. Fuck. Now we get cool. I said chance. Do we have a chance? Gretzky, damn it. Scott Stevens. Can we put it on Kitchener? Great one from Curry. Good one. 6-5-1. Now the end of the period. Washington 2, Edmonton 1. All 3 goals on the power play. 3 minutes. 1 minute later. Shit, no. Much later. Mazinski yours. Bugsy Erickson, his 5th from Golden Murphy, 3-1. Oh boy. 2 minutes later. No. Much later. Again, into the box. No shot. We're down 3-1 through 40. Dave Christian, his 2nd of the night. All 5 goals have been scored on the power play combined. Really? Yep. There's a fight. Don Jackson says, fuck this. I'm going to fight Scott Stevens. But Scott Stevens won the fight. But the good news for Edmonton is that Scott Stevens is off the ice for 5 minutes. Mr. Anderson. From Curry Messier. 4 minutes later. We have a chance to screw us? No. We're killing the clock. Dave Carpenter. Mr. Anderson. A 7 from Gretz and Curry. Can we finish it up? The comeback. Evidently, no. We were so close. I thought for sure we would have it. Can you believe it? The first 5 goals were scored on the power play. Damn our penalty killing. We suck. Our penalty killing sucked. Washington's now 10-2-1, if you can believe it. Like, fuck. And the worst part is, because we lost, the next game has to be simulated until we win. Quebec ties Montreal in the Battle of Quebec. Friday night hockey, we don't play. The Devil Dogs just can't win a game. Washington goes home and hosts Vancouver. So our game against Pittsburgh has to be simulated. And no, Mario Lemieux does not play for the team. That 83-84 was the year before they drafted him in 84. And we lose to them 2-1. Lindstrom scored by Brickley and Flockhart. Really? We lost to Pittsburgh? Battle of the Toilet Bowl. Hartford beats LA. So we go to Winnipeg. Both of us are doing terribly at 6-7-1. At least we're not New Jersey, who has only 1 win in the first 14 games. And we win in overtime. Fuhrer beats Soltart. Winnipeg actually was down 4-2, but Boschman and Liquid scored late, and then Curry from Conacher and Gretzky in overtime. So we win. So guess what that means. The next game we get to play. We don't get to we don't simulate. Well, we'll be in La Belle Provence. Devils lose again. All right, so we're 7-7-1. They're 8-7-2. We have fewer in the net. They have Clint Malarchuk. Remember the name 5 years down the road. Dan Bouchard's the main goalie for Quebec. I thought he retired at that time. Malarchuk, Mario Gosselin, and Brian Ford. Yeah, they have a English-speaking goalie. Well, they have two English-speaking goalies. So Quebec, they have Michel Goulet, who is an icon for the Nordiques and the Blackhawks. Peter Stastny, who alongside Anton and Marian on that team, the daring escape from Czechoslovakia because of their incursion. Wilf Paymont, future former Leaf, wearing number 99, which was sacrilege. Dale Hunter. Ooh, I must spit because he's the London Knights guy. Tony McCagney trying to bring Afro-Canadians some hockey prowess. Andre Savard, Alain Cote, Bo Berglund, who had an overtime goal. Was it 84 in the series against Montreal? Yeah, Bo Berglund, I think it was game 2 overtime winner. Louis Slager, yeah, for what he freaking did to Sean Hamel, that dickwad. Mario Marowa, Jean-Francois Sauvé, Paul Gillis, John Van Boxmeer. I thought he retired. Randy Muller, Pat Price, Norman Rochefort, who would be okay. Regular Point, Blake Wesley, Dave Pichette, Wally Weir, and Gord Donnelly. So I will be doing this in French because we're in a French city. 3 minutes partout. Onzième de la saison de Paul Coffey, Kitchener. Das ist par Linsman, numéro 7, et Anderson, numéro 11. 4 minutes partout. Dave Hunter, 4e de la saison, l'assiste de Louis Fogelin. 4 minutes partout. Quebec Blue, Bo Berger, 3e à Slager et Gilles. Imitin. 6 minutes partout. Tir par Rat de Malachuk. 2 minutes partout. Tir Rat de Fier. 2 minutes. Conacher et Dale Hunter. C'est bon, Dale Hunter, c'est stupide. Pas de l'avance de Kubik. Tackle bon. Anderson, 8e de la saison. This is pas Gretzky. Peter Pearson. Tirabou, McKechnie, Peter et Mamayanya. Un minute partout. Le garçon. Non. Non. Flagger par le bout. 5 minutes partout. Tiro Rat de Malachuk. 5 minutes. Et le but! Gretzky, 12e de la saison. This is par Greg et Messier. 4-2. Edmonton avant. Non, après, excusez-moi. 40 minutes. 3 minutes partout. Une pénalité à l'un côté. Mais une pénalité de l'anglais. Oui. Open ice. Caribou! Charlie Honey, 2e de la saison, l'assist de Linsman et Gretzky. Quebec, le gardien de but, c'est Brian Ford. Out here. 4 minutes partout. Now to Quebec. À Paul Guéris. Caribou! Ralston, 3e de la saison, l'assist par Loé Gretzky. 5 minutes partout. Le garçon. Caribou de Goulet, 12e de Price et McKechnie. Edmonton gagne 6-3. Le but de Coffey, Hunter, Anderson, Gretzky, Huddy et Rustin. 6. Home de la goal Tirabou. Québécois, c'est Berglund, McKechnie et Goulet. Gretzky, 3-6 de le match. 6-3, Edmonton. Our next game we're in Washington. But the rule is we can't play the same team twice in a video. in one video. So New Jersey beats Toronto. Of course, Toronto sucks because they lose to the Devils. And we lose to Washington 4-1. Fear losing to Bob Mason again. Curry scored, but Erickson, Christian Murphy, and Haworth. Damn it, what is with Washington? We can't beat these guys. Which means, of course, our next game has to be simulated. And that's in Detroit, where we put the snowman on Detroit and Greg Stefan 8-2. Detroit goes by Yzerman, both of them. But our goes Curry, Lumley, Coffey, Kitchener, Gretzky, Anderson, Coffey again, Kitchener. Dave Hunter and Don Jackson. So we get to play the next game. Yes, we do. Oh, yes, we do. And our next game is in Chicago. We're playing Chicago, who are 9-8-1. They're 9-8. And our third game, Moog will face Tony O, who this was his last season. Dude lasted 15 years. I was surprised. He was the backup to Mary Bannerman, but he was still there. Bob Janicek. Did he play for the American? No. Yeah, he was the backup. No, that's Steve Janicek. Excuse me. Bob Janicek. I think he was playing for Canada at the Olympics. Anyway, Chicago with their players, Danny Savard around. Well, Danny Savard was an icon who should have been drafted first overall by the Habs in 1980 because Montreal swiped the number one pick from Colorado. And Dennis Savard was playing junior in Montreal, but they went with Doug Wagenheiser, and Savard fell to number 3 because Dave Babbage went to Winnipeg. And Montreal would regret it. Steve Larmer, who had so many, who, if he had made all the starts in 93, 94, was going to tie the record by Doug Jarvis for consecutive games, but he broke that mark because he was in a contract dispute with Chicago. Bill Gardner, Daryl Sutter, one of the Sutter brothers, Tom Lysiak, former Flame, Troy Murray, Doug Wilson, who was a great defenseman for them, without the bucket, Danny Sear, Bob Murray, Badger Bob Murray, Keith Brown, Bane Wilson from Philly, Rich Preston, Steve Ludzik, Rick Patterson, Jeff Nyman, Dave Feimster, Ken Yarmachuk, Kurt Frazier, Jack O'Callahan. Did he play for the American Ice? I can't remember. Peter Marsh, he played for Edmonton in the WJ. L.C. Courts, Jerome Dupont, Tim Higgins, Greg Fox, and Don Dietrich. 2 minutes into the game, we take advantage. We do. Skier. Carlito. His 10th from Coffey and Anderson. 4 minutes later. Aggression. And Callahan. Take advantage. Curry can't, and now can Jackson. Nuts. 4 minutes later. Hey, we got a penalty. It's Dr. Randy. And they can't score. 2 minutes later. We score! The great one has 14 from Hunter and Pusar as we lead in Chicago Stadium. And 2-0 through 20 minutes. 5 minutes later. We score again! Rolston Perina, his 4th from Gretzky and Greg. We get penalty. It's Jackson. And they have to kill the zone. 5 minutes later. Troy Murray and that damn Marine for it. And the second goal. Now 3-1 through 40 minutes. 4 minutes later. We get the agitate and score. The great one from Coffey makes it 4-1. 1 minute later, it's Dougie Wilson. Or is it Bane Wilson? It's either or. Hughes gets hit. And a chance for Curry. Damn it. They probably would have changed goalies. 2 minutes later, nothing. Damn. 4 minutes later. Score! Mr. Hughes is 5th from Gretzky and Anderson. Normally, I'd be like, okay, I'll change the goalie. But no, can't change the goalie after this. Wait. He's in the zone. Auto zone. Yaremchuk. Well, Eddie Moog does his job, and we win 5-1. Beautiful. Curry, Gretzky, Rolston, Gretzky, Hughes. Well, that's why Gretzky's an icon. 4 goals, 4 assists. 2 goals to assists, 4 points in that game. What am I thinking? Cutter. Our next game is not till probably Wednesday. We gotta find Edmonton. We must find Edmonton. Are we really on a week off? We're really on a week off? We got Buffalo next. Where are we in the? We're third in the division. Calgary and Vancouver are at 23. We're at 21. Winnipeg 17. LA 9. Chicago's got 20. Lots of people. Three teams: Toronto, Minnesota, and St. Louis, all at 17 points. Detroit with 11. That things. In the Adams division, Boston, Quebec, Buffalo, Montreal represented by 2 points each. Hartford 14 points back. In the Patrick division, Washington, Islanders, Rangers, Philly, Pittsburgh, New Jersey falling flat. New Jersey only has 7 points. LA has 9. Hartford has 9. Goal scoring, Gretzky is second, but Rick 5 is putting on numbers. He has 22. Gretzky's got 15. Coffey's 11. Tied for 10. That's good. Goals against, Mogs dropped to 7th. Al Jansen 5-1-1. Tom Barrasso 8-0-1. He should be Buffalo's goalie all the time because they're 3-7 without him. Rolly Melanson is third place. I remember him from my stuff. Pat Regan 4th. Pete Peters 5th. Don Edwards 6th. Still 7-1. That's pretty good. King Richard has not lost again for Vancouver. Bob Frozen already has 10 wins. 17 out of 18. He's 10-6-2. I don't know why they say the ties and all that. Philly doesn't have a tie. Something's fishy. I hate that system. Yeah, Brent Sutter has only 3 assists. That's kind of weird, but weird and wonderful, maybe. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.